As many brands and companies have been speaking out recently around the killing of George Floyd, police brutality, and the resulting anti-racism protests, now some are finally taking action and marking the end of slavery as an official company holiday. I'm Jeff Beer, and instead of the usual Fast Company brand hit and miss of the week, we're going to take a look at the growing list of companies that have chosen to acknowledge Juneteenth. As protests have grown across America and around the world, the call for justice isn't just for individual cases of racism and police brutality, but the systemic problems that fuel many of these incidents in the first place. In the US, part of this means coming to terms with the Black experience in this country and how certain institutions and traditions have worked to diminish it. Which brings us to Juneteenth. It's a holiday that commemorates June 19th, 1865, when Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed in Texas to deliver news that the Civil War had ended and all enslaved people in Texas were now free. That date was 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Though it has never been recognized as a national holiday by the government, Juneteenth has long held significance for the Black community, with celebrations dating all the way back to 1866. Amid calls for the government to declare Juneteenth a national holiday, over the past few weeks, more companies are making the decision for themselves in marking it as an official holiday for their employees. The list continues to grow as the holiday approaches, but so far, major corporations and brands like Nike, Spotify, MasterCard, Target, Twitter, and Netflix are all recognizing the holiday. Meredith Clark, an assistant professor of media studies at the University of Virginia, told CNN, "I'm never going to frown at a company recognizing a day that is culturally important to so many Americans, really to all of us. But at the same time, I want to see that sort of action matched with commitment to changing the culture inside these organizations." And that, frankly, is the real issue these brands and companies need to confront. Not the easy part of solidarity marketing, but the hard work of looking in the mirror and making real, measurable change. Last week, Translation CEO Steve Stout told me that companies shouldn't just be judged on a tweet or writing a donation check right now. He said, quote, "What you should be judged by is the action you do to show sustainable commitment for the organization against any bias, bigotry, or racism. It's the sustained effort that counts. What's going to solve the problem is a committed plan that has KPIs against it." Slowly but surely, some brands are going beyond vague gesture. PepsiCo announced this week that it was retiring the Aunt Jemima brand, an image rooted in racism. Adidas announced it would be filling at least 30% of new job positions with Black or Latinx workers. And Sephora will dedicate 15% of shelf space for Black-owned brands following a social media initiative started by designer Aurora James. In that sense, these companies marking Juneteenth is a symbolic step in the right direction. And the companies that are doing it are leading the culture by example when the federal government refuses to do so. That's it for now. Happy Juneteenth, and we'll see you next time.